The painter, Renaissance. Overview. The painter Renaissance is a competitive game for 2 to 5 players, with playtime of 1.5 to 2 hours, for players aged 14 plus. Players take on the roles of renowned Renaissance artists, competing to complete their masterpieces and earn the title of the greatest painter. Throughout the game, they will collect, trade, and mix paints to bring their artworks to life. Components: 5 individual boards, depicting famous artworks, paint slots, and a victory point track. 5 palette boards, featuring paint storage, color palette, M, multi-purpose slot, R, reserved slot, paint pricing and color mixing schemes. 5 painter cards, showcasing an image and short biography of the painter on one side, and the special abilities of all 5 painters on the other. 5 score markers, used to track victory points on the player boards. 280 paint tokens, representing paints of 14 different colors. 60 coins, available in denominations of 1, 5, and 10. Bank, a designated area for storing all paint tokens and coins not currently in use. Market, a designated area for trading paint tokens between players in the bank. The first player marker. Rulebook. Setup. Each player blindly picks a painter card. Take the matching individual board and a palette board. Place your score marker at the start of the victory point track on your individual board. Place the bank with all paint tokens and coins and the market in the middle of the table. At the start, each player receives 10 coins from the bank. The player who most recently created any art becomes the first player and receives the first player marker. Gameplay. Each round consists of 4 phases: morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Morning phase, collecting paint. Each player takes paints from the bank with a total value of 3 coins and places them on their palette. Values of the paint are indicated on your palette board. Category A paints cost 1, B costs 3, C costs 5, and D costs 7. So in the morning, you can take either 3 Category A paints or 1 Category B paint. Place them on your color palette. Each paint has its dedicated slot. Only 1 token can be placed on each slot. The M slot can hold paint of any color. However, once you reach 30 victory points, the slot becomes locked and can no longer be used. You may place 1 paint token of any color on the R slot, keeping it safe from demands, but you must pay its regular price to the bank each round to keep it reserved. Afternoon phase, trading. The round begins with the first player and proceeds clockwise. On their turn, players can trade with other players and/or the market. Buy paint from other players. Players can demand a paint from another player's color palette and M slot at double its regular price. The other player has only 2 options: agree to the trade. Sell the paint to the market at its regular price. Sold paint goes to the market's in section. Players can demand only 1 paint from each of the other players per round. Buy paint from the market. Players can buy paint from the market's out section, if available, at 4 times the regular price. Sell paint to the market. Players can sell paint from their palette to the market at its regular price. Sold paint goes to the market's in section. Paint storage. Bought paints are placed in the paint storage section of the palette board, which has dedicated slots for each color. Only 1 token can be placed in each slot. You cannot buy paint if the slot for that color is occupied. Paints in storage cannot be bought or sold. Evening phase, mixing and painting. Transfer paints. Move paints from the paint storage to the color palette. If a slot on the palette is already occupied, any additional paint is lost. Mix paints. Players can mix paints to create new colors, but they can only advance 1 category per round. For instance, paints from Category A and B can be mixed to create Category C paint, but further mixing it into Category D paint is not allowed on the same round. Mix paints according to the schemes on the color palette. For example, mix A1, cadmium red, and A2, cadmium yellow, to receive B5, cadmium orange. Return a 1 and A2 to the bank and take B5, placing it on your color palette in the appropriate slot. Painting. Begin work on the first artwork, leftmost. Complete each artwork before starting the next. Use paints from the color palette to fill the slots on the player board. Each paint used earns victory points equal to its value. Adjust the score marker accordingly. A painting is considered finished when all its assigned paint slots, typically located below the painting, are filled with paint tokens. Honorarium. Finished paintings grant an honorarium, as indicated on the painting. Night phase setup. Pass the first player marker clockwise. Remove the remaining paints from the Mark It's Out section and place them in the bank. Move paints from the In section to the Out section. Game end. The game continues until a player reaches 60 points, either by finishing all their artworks or by buying victory points. Every 4 coins equal 1 victory point. Scores are rounded down, e.g., 11 coins equal 2 victory points. Add these points to the points earned from paintings. Note: players do not add victory points from coins to their score during the game, unless they reach 60 points with them. Finish the current round and calculate final scores. The player with the most points wins. Special abilities. Painters possess special abilities that allow them to override certain basic rules, granting strategic advantages. Players must adapt their strategies based on the strengths of their chosen characters and the abilities of their opponents, creating dynamic and diverse gameplay. Leonardo da Vinci. You can mix colors with one different category of color. In the afternoon, you can destroy 1 paint on each of your opponent's palette, paying its regular price to the bank. Michelangelo Buonarroti. You receive plus 20 coins at the start of the game. Your M slot remains unlocked after you reach 30 victory points. In the afternoon, you can demand paint twice from each player. You receive 1/2 honorarium after getting 30 victory points, and the other 1/2 after finishing the whole painting. Raphael Santi. Your M slot remains unlocked after you reach 30 victory points. In the afternoon, you can take 1 Category A paint from one of the players for free. You can still demand a paint from them. You receive 1/2 honorarium after getting 30 victory points, and the other 1/2 after finishing the whole painting. Hieronymus Bosch. You can work on all 3 paintings simultaneously. You can place 2 paints on palette slots. Rule doesn't apply to storage M and R slots. You can demand paints from the storage. Peter Bruegel the Elder. In the afternoon, you can force 1 player to sell 1 Category A paint to the market at its original price. In the evening, you can buy paint from the market's In section at 4 times the regular price.